You've probably heard me give a little speech about, you know, when you're a kiddie and people come up to you and they say to you, when you grow up, what are you going to be? What do you want to be? When you're at school, people say, what are you studying for? What job are you going to do? You get to the end, you get to be 16, 17, 18, they say, now you're going to go to uni or you're going to go to tech. Why are you doing that? Why are you educating yourself? You're educating yourself for a career. A stranger meets you at a barbecue. They come up to you and they go, hi, I'm Martin, you're Meg. Meg, what do you do for a quid? After we die, people will say about us, not what was your dad or your mum like, they say, what did your dad do? Now whether that's right or wrong, I guess is a debate for another time. But work is life-defining. People will say, I am an electrician, I am a butcher. It's our very being in some instances, isn't it? So if you can't get a job in Australian society, what do we call you? Adult, and we all know it, don't we? We just know that's what they are. Those people are bludgers. But the trouble is, some of them aren't. See, the kids that I work with weren't bludgers. They were bright boys and girls who desperately wanted to participate in our society. They desperately wanted a job because they know that work gives you a stack of stuff. It gives you money, but it also gives you an identity. It makes you someone. And we all do it. We've all got a ladder in our heads that goes, electrician, where's that? Well, that's here. Butcher. Now that's probably around about the same sort of spot, isn't it? But teacher, that might be a bit higher up the ladder, and then we might have, well, you know, who knows, we might have heart surgeons, or we might go politicians, or we might do whatever we do, but we've got that ladder in our head, and rock solid bottom are people that don't work. We instantly think of them as bludgers. And the young men and women I was working for knew that too. They wanted to participate, not just to avoid being called a bludger, but because work does define you, and they wanted to be defined as something other than a person with a disability. And that's why work was so important for them. Now, as I said, I did a good job. I gave those kids good work skills, and you know what they did with them? They went out, they went home, and did they get jobs? No. No, despite the fact that I would sometimes put literally months of effort and work into one single person, did that person get a job? No. Because there were no specialist support agencies for people that had a disability in order for them to get employment. The kids had the skills, but what did the employer see? When they looked at the person, did they see the ability or did they see the disability? They saw the disability. And out of respect to my job seekers, that's what I would have seen too. Because they looked like young people that had a disability. Because, hey, that's what they were. We, and that was myself and a group of other teachers and people involved in the education system, wanted to make a change. We wanted to make a difference. And the way we saw of doing that was helping people to find work in a wide variety of ways. When Nova Employment started, it did all sorts of stuff. We had work crews that went out and mowed lawns. We had groups of people that went out and cleaned hotels or pubs. We had all sorts of things happening in order for people to experience work in its many facets. But we found one way worked best. And that's not to say that there's only ever one solution, but we found one way worked best. And that was this, that we would take someone that had a disability, we would say to them, Janina, what would you like to do? She would say whatever it was, and then we would go and find an employer that offered that sort of work because it was that sort of work she wanted to do and was therefore most likely to enjoy. When Janina started work, we worked alongside her. Mind you, we only learned that we had to do that by a process of trial and error. Along the way there were a lot of Janinas that we sort of left in fairly tight situations. We learned that the best way to do it was to find a person, see what their skills were, see what abilities they had, then go find an employer that was looking for those things, put the two of them together and provide post-placement support so that they stayed there. That was in 1990. By 1992 we'd sort of started to get it right. And we'd opened another office. We were in Penrith first of all, well, St Mary's. And then we opened an office in Richmond. And the federal government came along and said, you guys are doing a pretty good job, why don't we make it grow? Over the next 5 or 6 years, the organisation went from those first 2 offices to the 14 that we've got today. The range and the number of people that we support has grown exponentially. By Wednesday afternoon of this week, we will have spent more money on running this program than we spent in the first year when the organisation started. There are, I think, 120 people working alongside you now, helping us get kids jobs. And every single day, every single working day, 2 people that weren't employed have got jobs. And they got jobs because people like you were prepared to give more than, with all respect to the lovely people that got that tin of beans into my cupboard, to give more than any of those gave. This job will ask more of you than anything else you've ever done, I suspect. It may not. You may have been a commando on active service somewhere in a war zone. But outside of that, this is the job that will ask most of you. It will ask most of your emotions. It will ask most of your intellect. It will be really demanding if you're going to be brilliant at it. And that's what I'm encouraging you to do this morning. So you can go out and be mediocre. You can go out and puddle by. And you can puddle by in this job, truthfully. Go out, get someone a job every month. That'll do. You'll get paid, you're happy, you'll make a difference. Or you can excel at it. Now, the training program that we've designed for you is designed to help you excel. And I promise you that you will never go short on professional development in this organisation. We'll spend thousands of dollars on you because we love you, but also because we want the very, very best for the people that come here because they deserve it and they've earned it, and that's why you beat 94 other people out to get you a job, because you're that person. Where are we going? Well, the organisation is growing so fast it's not funny at the moment. We are hiring at the moment again, aren't we?
Yes.
And I think we're hiring significant numbers of people. My understanding is we need at least 6 people today.
Really?
Absolutely. Never been a period of time like this in the organisation's history. We are rapidly growing because with the accumulated skills we're getting are actually driving the business along. And I thank you for your contribution to that. Now,